How's it going, everyone? Kevo here, and welcome back to the channel. This was a pretty big week for gaming news. Nintendo held their Switch 2 presentation, and I tuned in because I was under the impression that it would be all about the console, its hardware specs, and its features. And it definitely was part of it, but we got a lot more than that. We got announcements for a whole list of upcoming games for the Switch, and it's got me really excited for what Nintendo's cooking up for the future. So in this video, I wanted to just kind of go over everything that was shown, expressing my thoughts on the console and my favorite games that they showed, as well as address some concerns I have because unfortunately, it's not all good. There were some stuff in this direct that pissed me off, and a lot of other people. So let's start off with some of the cool games we got to see. The presentation kicked off with a bang, immediately showcasing a brand new Mario Kart. Mario Kart World was announced, and interesting details were revealed, like a new day and night cycle. They also added open world elements, like in Grand Prix mode, instead of going race to race through loading screens, you'll actually be able to race over the next course. It's really interesting stuff. There's also some new game modes available, like this elimination type mode, and you can even just straight up free roam now in a Mario Kart game. Like, dude, we got Mario GTA 6 before GTA 6. Next, we got a better look at the system and the new Joy-Cons, along with some of the new features that will be available. You can use the Joy-Cons as a mouse now, with the bumper as your little click button, and I think that's actually pretty neat. I mean, shit like this is Nintendo's bread and butter. They're now magnetic, though you still need to press a button to release that magnet to make sure that they just don't come loose during normal play. Listen, I don't know the first thing about magnets, but frankly, this looks like an easy failure point. I could totally see Switches 3 months into release that the magnets don't even hold anymore, especially in the hands of Nintendo's target audience. The Switch has Discord now. Not really, but like its own version. It's actually on the console now, unlike the Switch's stupid mobile app that you had to download to use voice chat. They even got a camera, like, dude, it really is Discord. But leave it up to Nintendo to come up with cool ways to integrate the chat room into the games, though. That's pretty cool stuff. Them claiming this thing will be capable of 120 FPS only on compatible games still feels like a stretch to me. I mean, the Switch had an NVIDIA chip that was outdated when it came out, and Tears of the Kingdom is a game made for the Switch that the Switch can't even handle. I mean, this game suffers from crazy frame drops like all the time.
There are game stability problems, there's also frame rate issues.
So unless this thing's really that big of a jump from the last Switch, I highly doubt it's going to be playing Metroid Prime 4 at 120 FPS handheld in performance mode. Like, that's some bullshit, Nintendo. System storage sucks. I mean, they couldn't even be bothered to give you a terabyte of storage. No, you only get 256 gigabytes. Fucking deal with it. At least they thought to put a USB port on top of the system this time, so now you can charge while you play. They also showcased this like tech demo kind of game. It's like Astro's Playroom or Wii Sports, but a lot less fun.
And I want it live!
It's just supposed to be a neat way for you to become familiar with all the new features of the Switch 2, but there's one big problem. You gotta fucking pay for it. Dude, could you imagine how different the world would remember Wii Sports if we had to pay for it? You probably wouldn't remember it at all.
Yo!
It wasn't the most impressive game on the Wii, but the fact that it came bundled with the Wii and was immediately accessible for the whole family was the entire reason it became so beloved to this day. I'll be genuinely surprised if this game sells any copies. I mean, who's gonna pay for a tech demo? After some more awful news that I'll cover later, Nintendo took our attention right back to the games with Rocket League Special Olympics, and a few other titles. There was some pretty interesting stuff here. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is coming to the Switch too. Freaking Elden Ring, dude. Like, I really can't wait to see how these more high fidelity games run on the Switch, but only time will tell. I mean, it worries me is all I'm saying. They also showed off probably the most important Zelda game to be released since Breath of the Wild, and that's the new Hyrule Warriors game, which takes place during the Imprisoning War, a time only briefly shown and heavily mentioned as being extremely influential to the events of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It feels like Nintendo finally answered Zelda fans directly for once. I mean, usually we're like, oh man, this Zelda game was really good, but I have so many unanswered questions. I really hope you guys make a sequel that, you know, addresses these things, and then they'll just move on to a completely different Zelda game entirely. I mean, even with Tears of the Kingdom, it was a sequel to Breath of the Wild, but it arguably just brought in more questions than it answered. So to see this game just straight up being like, yeah, we're going to talk about the Imprisoning War, you're gonna get to play the Imprisoning War, you'll get to see every detail about it, I'm like, fuck yes, finally. After this, Nintendo showed off the fact that they're finally gonna be bringing GameCube games to the Nintendo Switch Online service, but only for the Switch 2. Yeah, I don't know why they locked it behind the Switch 2. I mean, I know why.
Money!
But the Switch 1 has Skyward Sword HD on it, so it can run Wii games. Why do I need a Switch 2 to play GameCube games?
Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
That was Charlie's line.
After the GameCube let down, my favorite reveal of this entire presentation happened. It turns out Deltarune Chapter 3 took so long because they were working on Chapter 3 and 4. I've been waiting for more on this game for such a long time, and to see it's finally complete has me so excited for the release. And you don't need a Switch 2 to play this one, so fuck yeah. Another non-Nintendo sequel that was really cool to see was Enter the Gungeon 2. I've played the first game a lot, and it's a lot of fun, especially with friends. Exit the Gungeon was more of a spin-off with wildly different gameplay, but I think the reception to that game made Devolver Digital realize that people really wanted an actual sequel to Enter the Gungeon, and they finally delivered. We saw a couple more games that worry me on how they'll perform on the Switch 2, like Borderlands 4 and Cyberpunk 2077. Like, guys, are you fucking kidding me? Do you want me to be carrying around a live IED when I'm playing games on my Switch 2? Like, how hot is this thing gonna get playing Cyberpunk 2077 is my question. Yeah, Ultimate Edition, right. Ultimate safety hazard, baby. They've got Final Fantasy VII on here, dude. Oh my god. I mean, I'm really hoping I'm wrong. I feel two things are gonna happen. Either the games look decent and your Switch feels like it's about to take off into space from the palm of your hands, or the games look like shit, but the system's not struggling to keep up. I don't really think there's any in between. This presentation had a lot of surprises, but if there's one that no one truly saw coming, it was a Nintendo exclusive From Software game. That's pretty much Bloodborne in everything but name. The Dusk Bloods, as it's being called, is set for 2026, and it looks really fucking good. Sony has time and again shown that they have no interest in utilizing the Bloodborne property, and it has such a large and dedicated fan base, it'd be a huge shame to see that just go ignored. Thankfully, From Software has found a way to make fans happy without pissing Sony off. Though, it is a Switch exclusive, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. You got a new Bloodborne, what else do you fucking want? Finally, Nintendo revealed 2 more games before the end of the presentation. We had a teaser for a new Kirby Air Ride, which while I've always wanted to see this series come back, it was very interesting to see, considering they already showed off a new Mario Kart. I'm interested to see when they'll show us more to tell us what Air Ride will do to make it worth playing alongside Mario Kart World. We also got a more detailed trailer for a kind of spiritual sequel to Donkey Kong 64. It's been a really long time since DK got a full 3D platformer like this. We got to see a pretty good amount of gameplay and in-game footage, and it looks like all the environments are destructible and you can just kind of embrace your inner monkey. This is another one I'm pretty excited for, but while there are plenty of things to be excited about this Direct, there's also plenty of things to be upset about. It's time to address the elephant in the room, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games. Long story short, if you want to play Nintendo Switch games on your Switch 2 with a higher resolution, frame rate, and shorter load times, you have to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game. You can't just pop in your old Switch 1 copy in your Switch 2 and expect it to run better. Well, normally that is how things work, but Nintendo has made it so the upgrade is locked behind a $30 paywall, so they can sell you the same game you already own, again, on a different console.
Money!
Games like Mario Party Jamboree make a little bit more sense to spend your money on again. At least there they added a lot of mini games in the Switch 2's camera functionality to the game. But Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, their Nintendo Switch 2 editions, all that Nintendo advertised as the reason for buying this version, the better resolution, frame rate, and load times, is stuff that is totally patchable into the game. None of this was so game-changing that you needed to release a whole new version of the game. On top of this, Nintendo Switch games are going to get more expensive. Reports are coming in from various data miners that Mario Kart World's already got a store page on certain retailers and it's priced at $80. $80 fucking dollars. Okay, $80 for a brand new Nintendo Switch game is already criminal. You can't convince me that you have to charge me that much to break even on your product. But besides all that, I already gave you motherfuckers $70 for Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 1, and you pretty much owe me a definitive experience of that game, considering the fact that the console you released it on couldn't even handle it. You literally owe me the Nintendo Switch 2 edition for free, and you're gonna make me pay $30 extra for it? Listen, I would get it if Tears of the Kingdom ran excellently on the Switch 1. But it doesn't. Do not ignore this, Nintendo. You owe your fans a proper Tears of the Kingdom experience for free. At this point, you need to spend $100 just to properly play Tears of the Kingdom. And besides its performance shortcomings, it's still not the best Zelda game. I mean, we can sit here and argue all day, but Tears of the Kingdom's got a lot of problems, okay? Listen, I'm trying to stay positive about this. I really am. But it's like you could either sit here and smile and take all this butt fucking willingly, or you could stand up and say something about it. I'm getting real tired of companies taking advantage and charging us more simply because they can. It's beginning to feel like the video game industry is getting closer and closer to crashing. Every day we hear about huge layoffs, companies spending so much money on a game that failed that they can't make it all back and they close down. And yeah, it's all very sad, but for the most part, they do it to themselves. Overpromising and hype can sometimes result in the delivered product being way under consumer expectations. Even if it is okay, it's often nowhere near as revolutionary as the trailers and showcases promised. But I have a solution. Video game advertising should just become extremely minimal. Undersell the shit out of your product.
Dear PlayStation, I got a tip that you were making the PS3 $299. Confirm or deny?
$2.99. Bernie, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. That's how World War I got started. While $299 for the sweetest gaming, Blu-ray playing, movie downloading system in the world would be fantastic. No comment.
But all that stuff says $299. Right behind you.
I'm sorry, you said something?
PS3, now $299.
Don't actually show off that much. Just lead with little breadcrumbs. That way when they get the product in their hands, it's like opening the suitcase in Pulp Fiction.
We happy? Yeah, we happy.
And I'm kind of joking, but there's some truth to what I'm saying. I mean, look at the PS3's marketing campaign back then. These commercials are still burned into the eyes of many gamers today. And why? I think it's because it left you wondering what the hell you just saw and how it, if at all, mattered to the release of the PS3. It didn't answer a single question, yet it was extremely effective at generating consumer attention. But that's just me though, I feel you can say a lot more with less, but I digress.
That's called motherfucking boss!
The system's price wasn't revealed, and many speculate it'll be around $500, which I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I was hoping for $400, but considering how greedy they're being with the games, and the price of the other consoles they're competing with, I really wouldn't be surprised if this thing's $500. How's it going, everyone? So I recorded that audio on Monday, and on Wednesday they actually revealed that the Switch would cost $449.99 in the US. So pretty much kind of a sweet spot right in between where we were speculating. All in all, this still truly was the greatest direct we've seen in a long time. It's got me hopeful for Nintendo's future and worried about my wallet, but hey, that's my fault. I shouldn't be broke. What was your favorite thing to come out of this Nintendo Direct? Are you gonna buy a Switch 2 on release? How do you feel about the prices of games going up yet again? Let me know in the comments below and share your thoughts. The discussions I get to have with you all are the reason I make these videos. That being said, I think I'm gonna end this one here. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and maybe even subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.